Okay, I just got this funny PM from somebody who I'm not going to name right now, but I'm sure you'll hear him bitching in the comments. But he said, somewhere in the middle of the PM, creationists use the same evidence, and they have strict peer review as well. But pause. Creationists use the same evidence. Right. And they have strict peer review as well. You can check out the Answers Research Journal for examples, or not if you prefer to remain a bigot. Well, since I don't prefer to remain a bigot, because you know, I'm such a complete bigot, I bigot all over the place, I'm going to check out Answers Research Journal, which, apparently, it's like a scientific journal, but for creationism. And pretty much what he's saying was, these are peer-reviewed scientific papers that support creation. Peer-reviewed. Just so I get the point across, peer-reviewed. Okay, so, on the Answers Research Journal, on the very front, there is a whopping, 6 articles, 6 papers. But I guess I can cut them some slack because, you know, creationism's been around for a while, and they've only come up with 6 papers. But it's okay. This is a new branch of, wait for it, and you're going to love this, Answers in Genesis. I don't know how I didn't see this coming. Answers Research Journal, Answers in Genesis. I feel like an idiot now. Anyway, and it turns out that the papers on here are real articles. They're real papers. They're not just some bullshit that, you know, somebody in Answers in Genesis put together. Well, I don't know. Maybe it is. But I went onto their Instructions to Authors Manual. The PDF file. PDF file. Not PDF file. Pedophile. No. Just to see the process that they go through to submit one of their peer-reviewed things. This is the peer review process. And it's quite a hefty little manual here. And it's a pretty lengthy process, too. At first glance, it sort of seems like a bit of a, you know, real peer-reviewed thing. However, the guy in the PM said that they have a strict peer review process. Now, real peer review process is pretty strict, too, because scientists try to rip apart your papers. Not literally rip them apart, but they try to just completely disprove everything you write. They try to stomp out your paper. So that's what real peer review is, and that is strict. But, apparently, Answers Research Journal has some strict peer review also. Now, their first step is they have to, when they write their paper, they have to submit it to the editor-in-chief. Now, upon receiving the paper, the editor-in-chief will follow the procedures below. Receive and acknowledge to the author the paper's receipt. Okay. Review the paper for possible inclusions into the ARJ, Answers Research Journal. Process. The following criteria will be used in judging papers. 1. Is the paper's topic important to the developments of the creation and flood model? So apparently they're lacking backup for a global flood. So they want to have people submitting some global flood papers. 2. Does the paper's topic provide an original contribution to the creation and flood model? An original contribution. I think my aeroplate theory would have been pretty damn original. 3. Is this paper formulated within a young Earth, young universe framework? Oh, that's interesting. So, it has to be written in the presupposed mindset of a young Earth and a young universe. Isn't that called bias? 4. If the paper discusses claimed evidence of an old Earth and or universe, does this paper offer a very constructive, positive criticism and provide a possible young Earth, young universe alternative? So, if you're a bad boy and you submit evidence for an old Earth or an old universe, make sure that you're able to, you know, switch it around, jumble some things up so it looks like a young Earth again. Because we don't want there to be an old Earth, because that means there is no God. 5. If the paper is polemical in nature, does it deal with a topic rarely discussed within the origins debates? Probably not. 6. Does this paper provide evidence of the faithfulness to the grammatical, historical, normative interpretation of Scripture? If necessary, refer to R.E. Walsh, Biblical Hermetism, page 121 of that. So, number 6 pretty much says it has to, you know, be within the Bible. It has to be in here. It has to be in the circle. And if it's outside the circle, they won't take it. But wait a minute. Oh, it's not like they're just going to reject it if it doesn't fit these qualities, right? Remarks. The editor-in-chief will not be afraid to reject a paper if it does not properly satisfy the above criteria, or it conflicts with the best interests of AIG as judged by its biblical stand and goals outlined in its statements of faith. So, If it breaks any of those rules, it's not accepted. It's rejected. Well, I guess the guy in the PM was right. That is a very strict peer review process. I mean, if it even mentions an old Earth and does not back it up with the young Earth evidence, they won't even look at it. Rejected. Bam! Stamped. Rejected. If it's not written in the light of the Bible, rejected. If it does not provide any evidence for the faith, which is kind of a contradiction anyway, rejected. Yeah, that seems fair, doesn't it? No wonder there's only 6 articles. And the entire thing is written on a biased platform. This isn't scientific peer review. And anyone who looks at these and treats them like peer-reviewed work, I don't know what to do for them. It's as if they are biased, and they don't even know they're biased. It's as if they just don't know what not being biased is. So that's all I have to say about that. I'll leave you with the great words of a very stupid man. Ignorance is curable. Stupid is forever.